Hey there fellow theme park nuts, I'm Dan from themeparknut.com, and today I thought we'd take a comfy seat on the couch and have a little bit of a chat about why I think Martin Scorsese is a bit of a joyless old man. In a recent Empire magazine interview, Martin Scorsese was asked about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, to which he said, "I don't see them. I tried, but that's not cinema. Honestly, the closest I can think of them, as well made as they are, with actors doing the best they can under the circumstances, is theme parks. It isn't the cinema of human beings trying to convey emotion, psychological experiences to another human being." So obviously I don't agree. Since this is YouTube, I thought the best way to approach this is by doing a numbered list. Number 1, I'm not defending the MCU. The statement that was made by Scorsese was definitely meant to be a dig at the MCU movies, but I'm not here to defend that. But to be honest, I don't have any rights to defend that because I've only seen 2 of the MCU movies at this point, which, there's been 20 odd. I can't really speak in their defense directly. If you want a well-informed opinion about the MCU, go and check out some of the other YouTube videos on this Scorsese mess. But I cannot make arguments about the quality of the MCU's movies. But if you're saying that cinema is inherently better than theme parks, well, I have some strong feelings about that. Point number 2, theme parks are an art form. The way that Martin Scorsese's quote was stated, he's trying to draw a line between art and sort of cheap entertainment. And I think that's a pretty ridiculous line to try and draw. It comes down to the question of what is art. For me, art is a piece of work by a person or a group of people that is intended to convey some sort of feeling to the person that's watching it, viewing it, or experiencing it. It's a young art form, for sure. It's only been around really since Disneyland kicked off in the 50s, but in the scheme of things, cinema is a pretty young art form too, compared to literature, music, and painting and arts like that. To say that theme park attraction building is not an art is an insult to Pierre Coupe, Joe Rody, the amazing Imagineers and creatives that have been involved in the industry over the past, half decade. Point number 3, art is subjective. Saying that theme parks are art is all well and good, but that doesn't mean they're all good art. Certainly there are hundreds of theme parks around the world that don't really deserve to be treated as great works of art, in my opinion anyway. But bad art is still art. It doesn't matter how well it achieved conveying emotion. The point of being art is the intention to convey emotion. The artist is trying to make people feel things and emote. Whether they're successful or not, well, that's often a matter of opinion, but it certainly doesn't make things not art. Point number 4, all forms of art matter. Like I said before, there are people that slave away at things like building theme parks, and to insult them by saying that their work isn't artistic in some way, isn't the equal of this grand, noble, weird concept of cinema, is really disingenuous. There are a lot of things that you should recognize as art even if you don't appreciate them. For instance, there's a lot of things that I don't understand that people love that I can't sit there and pass judgment on because I simply don't know enough. Let's look at music, for example. I'm not someone who loves rap music, for example. The last rap album I bought would have been by the Beastie Boys. I can appreciate parts of it, but on the whole, with all the changes and things that have come in the last, it's totally over my head. But the thing is, it's not being made for me. It's being made for people that like it. That doesn't mean I can say rap isn't art, rap isn't music, right? That's a completely flawed argument. That's the exact argument that Scorsese is making about the MCU movies. They're not cinema. Well, they clearly are films. Where do you draw the line between films and cinema? Just because something is popular doesn't mean that it's not artistic or well made. I think a lot of people fall into the trap of thinking that things that everybody loves must be easy to make, and so therefore disregarding them. Pop music's an example, right? It's fair enough to say pop music isn't the same kind of thing as classical music that have had masters that have been revered for centuries and all sorts of stuff. Pop music is a young art form, but it is an art form. You can't deny that there is work and effort going into these very small, different kinds of art. So I think it's important that we as a society start to value other people's art forms, even if we can't understand them. To say, I don't understand that, but I can see it's got some value to greater society and I respect it. Taking pot shots at things that we don't understand are meaningless. I understand that Scorsese hasn't studied theme parks. He's probably never been to a theme park and had a good time. Fine. It's a very commonly held opinion that everything in theme parks are fake. You know what? Everything in movies is fake too. Nothing is real when you get down to the bare bones of it. Point number 5. Joy is an emotional, psychological experience. Just like people saying that popular music is bad, that, various types of art are bad because they don't understand it. For me, there's also like an inherent bias in the arts that say that particular emotions are more important than other emotions. And that kind of leads into the bias against popularized things, because things that make you feel sad or make you think about your existence, really have heavy gravitas behind it, are really prioritized by our society over things that bring you joy and happiness, which is a really strange thing. Why should MCU's films be bad because people enjoy watching them? Joy is such an amazing thing. It's such a wonderful part of the human experience, and it's something that is much more easily shared and can have much more powerful implications when it's done well. And I think people that disregard theme parks as, artificial places where people go and just forget their worries, and that's all true. I think they disregard the joy that these environments actually bring to people, the power that it has to bring families together, to create things that last as memories for a lifetime. I don't see how that's any different to going to a museum and seeing a great work of art in person. Just because it's something that moves you or thrills you, makes you laugh, doesn't mean it's bad. Doesn't mean it's a lesser form of art. Joy is a magnificent thing. Most of us don't get enough of it in our lives. Why do we continue as a society to push joy down to be a lesser emotion than sadness or anger or fear? Like, we should be celebrating. We should be saying, Disney's Imagineers make people enjoy the world more, make people a happier part of society, help bring societies together, make us bond over our commonalities instead of our differences. I really think that people that devalue things like theme parks, things like pop music, they're missing the point, and it really troubles me because there are too many people in the world that look at their own experience, that are centered on themselves and not seeing anyone else's point of view. Surely the way to improve as a society is to do the opposite of that. To treat people as they're their own beasts that we can respect without having to understand them. I don't need to understand rap music to see that some people get real joy out of it. Some people listen to nothing else but trap or EDM, and I don't understand that at all. And when I look at people like Scorsese saying that cinema is a great art form, but pop art, theme parks are lesser art forms. I just feel like they don't know what they're talking about, and they shouldn't disregard other people's art so flippantly. Anyway, that's my couch chat about the MCU comments made by Martin Scorsese and a little bit of a defense of theme parks as an art form. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment in the section down below. Do you think theme parks are art? Do you think I'm just up on my high horse whinging about things like I normally do? Leave a comment, tell me what you think. Thanks for watching my video all about the Martin Scorsese controversy. We'll be back on Friday with our regular theme park news in a minute video, so tune in for that. In the meantime, check us out on Twitter at ThemeParkNut, on Instagram, ThemeParkNut Insta, or our blog is themeparknut.com. Don't forget to subscribe, and until next time, cheers.